Recently, Broadway Books partnered with Oregon Health Sciences University for a reading by Rebecca Skloot from her New York Times bestselling book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. Rebecca, a science writer and writing teacher in Memphis, grew up in Portland and is the daughter of local poet and memoirist Floyd Skloot. Rebecca's book tells the story of the first immortal human cell line grown in a lab and the woman whose body that cell came from, Henrietta Lacks, a young black mother of 5 living in Maryland in the 1950s. Rebecca's book tells the science story, how the cell was grown and the multitudes of research projects and disease treatments it led to, and the multi-million-dollar industry of human biological materials it launched. But it also delves deeply into the human side of the story. Who was Henrietta Lacks? How did her cells get to the lab that first grew them? And what happened to her family after she died? Judy, a longtime staff member at Broadway Books, sat down to read the book and didn't stop until she'd finished it about 6 hours later. And I don't even like science books, she said, but this one was so compelling and well written I just couldn't stop reading. As you can see by the lines, Rebecca was a big hit with the audience at OHSU as well.
So you got a lot of help from your dad to put the tour together?
I did.
That's amazing.
Yes, and a lot of friends too. It was a very sort of grassroots thing. People all over the country that we just sort of reached out to and said, oh, hey, will you organize an event at your nearby bookstore or in your university or wherever? And yeah, the whole thing came together like that. And I'm happy to say that I have been talking in a lot of independent bookstores all over the country. And it's been so great to go from one independent to the next and see these big communities of people who love their independent bookstores and come out for these events, even though rumor has it they don't actually do that.
And you wrote a lovely piece about how the book tour is not dead.
That's right. Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and so every time I show up at a bookstore and there are lots of people there, I'm very relieved that I have not been proven wrong yet. Yeah, the crowds have been, incredible. I think people do very much come out to hear authors talk. And there was a lot of question about what other people do, and also particularly for science books.
Yeah.
Nobody reads science books, right?
Science books.
Yeah, I can tell by your ranking on the New York Times bestseller list that nobody reads science books. What's the most unusual place you've read on your tour?
Unusual. Well, I've read in cafeterias, a couple cafeterias at schools. I've read in the basement of church. I've read in several different universities. I've read in several different churches, cathedrals, versions of those, libraries, bookstores. And a high school is great art school in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. That was one of the most sort of exhilarating events. Just all these high school kids so excited about science and talking about the science book. And I think they were all asking me to autograph their cheeks and their necks and their arms.
That's great. We need to get younger kids involved in science. So it's nice when you get excited about science. I like that.
Exactly.
Thank you. So that wasn't so bad.
Thank you. Thank you so much.